Great Duke Ellington there, with a tune entitled "Things Ain't What They Used to Be." And ain't that the truth? These days are crazy. But maybe a little music will bring us back some sanity. I sure hope so. Planned a great show for you today, actually. Not that they all aren't wonderful, but this one's special. I have a CD I'll play for you a little later in the show. It'll be the first time, I guess, it's aired. It's a brand new release by the young pianist Brendan Goldberg. I'm excited to share it with you. Before that, though, we have a few others to touch base with. We're going to start with George Benson. We've been starting with, last show anyways, with George Benson, and good acclaims, good response, and so thought I'd stick with an artist that is a winner, at least here on Berkshire Jazz. And I should have mentioned you're listening to WTBR 89.7 FM in Pittsfield. My name's Phil Tierney. I'm your host for the next 2 hours, and we'll get right to the music. This is from a 1989 release entitled Tenderly. George, of course, vocal and on guitar, and joined by McCoy Tyner, Ron Carter, Herlin Riley, Lewis Hayes, Al Foster, and Lenny Castro. And we're going to listen to 4 tunes. You Don't Know What Love Is, Stella by Starlight, Tenderly, and I Could Write a Book. Here's George Benson.
You don't know what love is until you've learned the meaning of the blues, until you've loved the love you had to lose. You don't know what love is. You don't know how lips hurt until you've kissed and had to pay the cost, until you flipped your heart and you have lost. You don't know what love is. Do you know how a lost heart feels? The thought of a reminiscing, or how lips that taste of tears lose their taste for kissing. You don't know how hearts burn for love that cannot live yet never dies, until you face the dawn with sleepless eyes. You don't know what love is. never dies until you face the dawn with sleepless eyes. You don't know what love is. You don't know what love is.
George Benson, right there. From a 1989 recording, Tenderly. And you're listening to WTBR 89.7 FM here in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, your community radio station. This is Berkshire Jazz. I'm your host, Phil Tierney. We're here every Saturday evening, 8 to 10. And as I say, that first set was the result of my playing some George Benson a week or so ago and getting some response, how much it was enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this set. But I mention that so that you will know if you have an artist that you'd like to hear and I haven't been playing, please let me know. If you have songs that you'd like to hear, again, let me know. You can do that by going to Tierney Jazz, one word, at gmail.com. And I'll get back to you. Or if you just simply want to point out some things I shouldn't do or should do or give me a hand in that regard, I'd appreciate that too. So we'll move on to some music. This from a 1958 recording, Porgy and Bess, featuring Miles Davis, trumpet. Miles and Gil French, Gil, excuse me, that was Gil Evans, team up to present the George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess. And we will listen to Bess, You Is My Woman now, Summertime, Prayer, and It Ain't Necessarily So. Here's Miles Davis. Miles Davis from a 1958 recording, Porgy and Bess. That tune, of course, It Ain't Necessarily So. Before that, we heard Miles do Prayer. That's Summertime, and we started the set off with Bess, You Is My Woman. And to this point, I think we'd say the music's been kind of subdued, so it's about time to perk that up a little bit. And I dedicate this particular set to a friend, Chuck, who videotapes and edits the concerts that we have here at Berkshire's Jazz, and inevitably when we do it, manages to get a close-up of the bass player, likes the bass, and he's practicing and on the bass, so pay attention, Chuck, this one's for you. And this is a terrific bass player, Victor Wooten, played with Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. This from a 2005 recording, Soul Circus. And the first tune is kind of a novelty song. It's called Bass Tribute, where he mentions by name some of the great bass players. And some of the great bass players joined him on this. We'll follow that with a tune entitled Prayer, and then Victa. Here is Victor Wooten.
What would Larry say if he were here today? Well, what would Bootsy say if he were here today? What would Marcus say if he were here today? What would Rocco say if he were here today? Anthony Jackson, Willie Weeks, Ray Brown, walk that dog, Robert Wilson. Get it, Robert. Stanley Clark, I tip my hat to you. Jaco Pastorius, you know I love you too. Larry Graham, well, thank you for all you do. Well, everyone, I owe it all to you.
Don't you feel it in your soul? Let the bass take control. Just throw it on the bass. The bass, the bass, bass. Can't you feel the bass? Ow. Your face to place. Thumping on the bass, thumping on the bass.
And to all the other masters of the low end, thanks for doing what you do. We love you and we haven't forgotten. I remember back years ago, I lived my life without too many cares, y'all. And the truth of mine, so hard to find, was hidden there between so many lies. As the shadows rose across my face and light appears and shows another side now. Things I should know, no one told me. Now I must go, and I'm begging you tonight.
Say a prayer for me.
Don't know
where I'm gonna be
as I
go on this journey.
Say a prayer for me, I say a prayer for you.
don't know
Where I'll end up
as I
empty out my cup.
So please
say a prayer for me.
say a prayer for me.
And I'll say a prayer for you.
Now I lay myself down to sleep. I pray my Lord will send someone to greet me. As the light appears, it seems so clear to things I couldn't understand before. Now I'm looking over all my years. I see now who the angel was beside me. If I hurt you, please forgive me. I still need you, and I'm begging you tonight.
Say a prayer for me.
Don't know
where I'm gonna be
as I
go on this journey.
Say a prayer for me, I say a prayer for you.
don't know
Where I'll end up
as I
empty out my cup.
So please
say a prayer for me.
say a prayer for me.
And I'll say a prayer for you.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Everybody needs a prayer. a prayer for me. Asking you shall receive. It's hard to live in times like these. Fulfilling prophecies overseas. They live in a tragedy. It's hard to know what to do. Say a prayer for me, and I'll play my prayer for you.
It's about that time, baby.
My name is Victor, and I'm a winner, and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And just cause I come out on top don't mean I'm leaving you out. Yes, I'm a trickster, but not a sinner, and you may not agree. Before you start to criticize, are you talking about you or me? Cause I'm your brother, your friend, I'm so much a part of you. To be the victor, deal with who you are before you worry about what you do. I'm right here with you, not against you. It may look like deceit, but I am always on your side, even when we compete. Yeah.
Winning not always the answer. All you have to do is play. When you understand the message, then you have the right to say,
my name is Victor, and I'm so finger funkin' good. You can never wash off this funk debris, even if you could. My name is Victor, and I encourage you to learn how he plays, cause in practice there is a perfection. Now tell him what I said.
My name is.
And for all you players out there, I want you to pull up a chair and sit down somewhere.
My name is, I ain't gonna say it. It's already on your mind. Some may call it bragging, but I ain't got the time. I'm coming to get you. That's right.
Look out.
I'm sneaking up from behind you. Well, don't worry, just a little bit more to say. I might wait till tomorrow. It ain't gotta be today. I'm gonna tell my story. I don't know where to begin. The one thing that I know for sure, the victor always wins. Yeah.
ain't no worry in
That's it, baby. Yeah, just put your hands right here while I whisper in your ear. And just in case you didn't know, I'm here to tell you so. Let me hear you say, play, Victor, play. Come on, come on,
My name is yeah,
Ain't it funky?
Victor, yeah,
My fella Bobble. My name is Victor,
Victor,
and I'm so finger funkin' good. You can never wash off this funk debris, even if you could. My name is Victor, and I encourage you to learn how he plays, cause in practice there is a perfection. Now tell him what I say.
my name is
Oh yeah, Bobble. Boot rapper fella here. For all the encouraging minds that wanna know, we're bringing you the real deal and not the dildo. Yeah. Galactic oscillation. Paranormal observations, baby.
Victor Wooten from 2005, get it in the right century. Soul Circus is the title of that release, and we listened to a couple tunes, Bass Tribute, The Prayer, and that last tune, Victor. And I have in the studio now, I better turn on his microphone, Ed Bride, the president of Berkshire's Jazz. And thank you for coming in, Ed.
Oh, you bet, Phil. Good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Mic is on.
I turned it on, but I've got you on my... Oh, I know.
Can you see me now? Can you see?
I can hear you now. It helps. There's so many things to remember
Yeah,
here with
cool.
the board.
Right.
Anyways, and I forget all of them.
Everything's easy in digital, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, Ed came in for a particular artist that we're going to feature in a moment, and we're going to have here in Pittsfield as part of the city's jazz festival. And Ed will give us more information about that. And I'm talking with Brandon Goldberg, so if you see the name, buy a ticket because you're going to be treated to an amazing concert. I've seen him several times and can never get tired of it. I mean that. Anyway,
Well, you're the reason that he's coming here, Phil. You brought back a CD from his Newport Jazz Festival debut when he was 13 years old, I think.
yeah, exactly.
And it took us a few years to finally land him, but
You're good, though. You found him.
yeah, we did. Yeah.
That was really kind of a strange story, too.
Well, it was maybe a big coincidence, but his mother called me a couple of years later after you saw him, and said, I'm Brandon Goldberg. I said, oh yeah, in fact he's on the CDs in my car right now, and she said, well, we'd love to be playing in Pittsfield. We have a condo up there at Bosquet. And so the thing that had really been delaying us from trying to figure out how to bring him up here was the transportation cost. He lives in Florida.
yeah.
So we're a pretty low-budget organization, and so we were trying to figure out, can we get a sponsor? Can we get an airline to sponsor his flight? And all of a sudden, we realized, because his mother called, that they come up here every year anyway.
Yeah.
So that removed one huge barrier. And as soon as we could after that, we lined him up to have his Berkshire's debut at Venford Hall in 2022.
It's to a sold-out group.
Yeah, turn-away crowd.
And everyone that was there was blown
amazing,
away.
Just amazing,
Yeah.
amazing talent. And now he's 17 years old.
Yeah.
I think maybe going on 18.
Yeah.
But amazing.
Well, it surprised me, too, because I'd listened to a couple of his CDs, and when I walked into Venford Hall, he was playing.
Yep.
He was playing the Duke,
Yeah.
which is my theme song.
Right.
And I thought, holy cow! And I was anxious to see it on his newest. See if he did that on his newest album. He didn't, but boy, he's got some great tunes on
Yep.
it. And I hadn't. That's an interesting story that she called us.
Yeah.
And that's not the first time either.
Yeah, Gabriel Severn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
son of Eddie Severn, who's also a great jazz player. Yeah, same thing. They found us when they went to see Phil Woods at the Deerhead Inn in the Poconos, and part of the program was that Phil had played at the Pittsfield City Jazz Festival, and she said, "I have to look into this." So she called us up and said, "Yeah, we do that." And I said, "Well, my son is this great bass player." Well, everybody thinks their son is a great bass player, but we gave it a listen, and he was phenomenal. So we brought him up here, played in our Jazz Prodigy concert on a Wednesday night for that festival. Went over to the Rainbow afterwards and sat in with a grown-up group with Fran Tokar's group, and just blew everybody away there too.
Yeah.
Wonderful discoveries.
Yeah, great. All right, well, I should mention that you're listening to WTBR 89.7 in Pittsfield, community radio, and this is Berkshire Jazz, and we're here every Saturday evening from 8 to 10, and we're with Ed Bride now, president of the Berkshire's Jazz nonprofit that puts on the Pittsfield City Jazz Festival and a slew of others. You've really blossomed this organization. It's a credit to you.
Thanks, bro.
And we're going to listen right now to a friend of Berkshire's Jazz who has played here as well, baritone saxophonist Claire Daly. And I don't mean to tease my listeners. We're going to get to this Brandon Goldberg that we've been raving about in the next set. So stay with us. Right now, this is from Baritone Monk.
Yes, I love that CD.
A CD that she wasn't debuted here, but she had a concert.
She performed most of the material from that in a concert here at the Berkshire Museum. Baritone Monk.
Yeah.
A lot of undiscovered, lesser known pieces from Monk on that CD. I think Panonica is the only one that I recognize from it.
Well, I had in my playlist planned to play Tio, a two-timer, and Panonica, and then Let's Cool One. And we can shorten that if you want. But right now, what did I say we were going to listen to? That, yeah.
two and then Panonica?
Yeah, two-timer. I'll do Tio and Panonica. Yeah. I'll skip the Less Cool One. Where am I now?
There you go. Baritone Monk.
Baritone Monk. I should mention maybe who's with him, because another local bass player was with her on that, wasn't she? Marianne
McSweeney was here.
Yeah.
I don't remember if she's on the CD, but she was here for the performance.
Yeah, well, she was on the CD, and Peter Grant on the drums.
Yep.
And Claire, let's see, Steve Hudson on piano.
Yeah, so that's the group she was here with. Yeah.
You're listening to WTBR 89.7 FM in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And that was Claire Daly on baritone sax from a CD entitled Baritone Monk, where she played many of Thelonious Monk's lesser-known compositions. And we listened to two tunes, Tio and Two-Timer.
Say that 3 times. Tio and Two-Timer 3 times.
And that's Ed Bride. Ed Bride's with us. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah. I'm here to heckle.
Oh, that's okay. Any rate, Steve Hudson on piano and Peter Grant on drums and Marianne McSweeney on bass. And Claire has been an asset to our Berkshire's jazz, recommending.
Yeah, other than just playing here a few times,
Yeah.
she's recommended some of the prodigies who have really graced our stages in the middle of the Pittsfield City Jazz Festival, and we've had some amazing talent, and some that we missed out on. One that he's too old to be a prodigy now is Emmett Cohen, who played here at the age of 31. But he was a prodigy back 20 years ago at the Litchfield Jazz Camp. I think they even accepted him when he was too young to be there. But nobody said that.
Same is true with our next artist, too.
Right.
They accepted him when he was too young,
Yep.
and they were wise to do so.
Yeah, Brandon Goldberg is a force already at the age of 17, going on 18, and I forget when his birthday was. He may be 18 by now. But
Yeah. And
no, 17. Yep.
so we will join Brandon in his new release, 2023 recording entitled Live at Dizzy's. And I was struck, as were you, with the liner notes.
Yeah.
They're written by
David Foster.
David
yeah.
Foster, and I didn't know who he was, so I Googled him. But my wife knew who he was, which surprised me a little bit. But he's won 16 Grammys. That includes a Producer of the Year, an Emmy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and racked up 3 Oscar nominations for Best Original Song. My wife said he wrote the song The Prayer with Celine Dion, and a name that escapes me. But I know the song. It's a beautiful song. And like I say, his liner notes just struck me. The way he... And actually, what I also Googled and didn't read, he's earned a reputation as a keen spotter of new talent, and that's where he comes into writing liner notes for Brandon Goldberg, pianist that we're going to listen to.
Yeah, and the thing that struck me out on the liner notes for this particular recording, to summarize it, and he talked about how you can find piano players with great chops. I mean, the world has got some really, right now, some wonderful jazz piano players who can play the piano until it screams for mercy. And a lot of notes and a lot of great chords. And he said what Brandon Goldberg has beyond his years is heart. He really, you sense something different than just notes. And I think you'll hear what he means in the second number that you've got queued up here.
And he emphasizes that by saying pouring his heart into a single note.
Yeah.
You know, and so yes, let's. I'll stop talking. We'll join Brandon at Dizzy's, and we'll listen to Wives and Lovers, and then It Ain't Necessarily So. Is that right? That's not right. It's Fair to Remember.
Yeah, we're going to do, I think, It Ain't Necessarily So, and then Fair to Remember.
Actually, yes, 3 and 4. So we've got it set on 3. Let's.
Okay, here we go.
Brandon, I hope.
Well, either that or It Ain't Necessarily So. What a touch, huh, Phil?
Oh, my goodness, yes. That was live at Dizzy's, recorded in 2023. That was Brandon Goldberg on piano. And the tune we heard was 3 and 4, right? And I put them in different places so I can't find them.
Yeah, and Affair to Remember, right? And then before that, It Ain't Necessarily So, which was necessarily so in this case.
Yeah. All right, well, now we're going to shift gears. We're going to come back to Brandon a little later. I'm really taken by this CD. But right now...
And not only that, but this is a brand new CD just out last week, so WTBR listeners are among the first in the nation to be hearing it. So,
my goodness gracious.
Yeah, how about that?
And thank you for providing it.
You bet.
But you have Marcus Roberts now. And
so we've been very fortunate to have attracted some amazing piano players to the Berkshires over our 15, now coming on 20 years of presenting performers, from Dave Brubeck and Billy Taylor to the current ilk. And this will be Marcus Roberts' first time not in the Berkshires, because he's played at Tanglewood with the BSO, but the first time for Berkshire's Jazz as part of our Pittsfield City Jazz Festival. He'll be coming up with his trio on Saturday, April 27th at the Colonial Theater. And he'll be performing an extended composition of his called From Rags to Rhythm. It's sort of like an anthology of jazz styles, 12 different jazz styles, which I did not bring with me today, but maybe we'll do this again before the festival.
Good, excellent.
And then have that. And then this being the year of Duke Ellington's 125th birthday, and his concert being just 2 days before Duke's birthday, he's going to play some of Ellingtonia in his first set. And he's recorded several of Ellington pieces, and we're going to do a couple of them here today. I love this from his CD. Marcus Roberts plays Ellington. I think we're going to do Black and Tan Fantasy and maybe Creole Blues from Marcus Roberts Trio.
Go that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. You're listening to WTBR 89.7 FM in Pittsfield, Mass. And this is Berkshire Jazz. We're here every Saturday evening, 8 to 10. I'm your host, Phil Tierney, and with me is Ed Bride, president of Berkshire's Jazz, the nonprofit that puts on the Pittsfield City Jazz Festival. He supplied us with our Brandon Goldberg CD and that last CD, Marcus Roberts. And Ed?
Yeah, that CD was actually a compilation of 3 or 4 CDs that Marcus Roberts did, where he included Ellington material, and they put it together into one CD called Marcus Roberts Plays Ellington. And since it's a compilation of 3 or 4 recordings, the sidemen are not mentioned on the liner notes, so I don't know who the trombone soloist was on Creole Blues. However, the album was produced by Delfeo Marsala, so I'm guessing that it was Delfeo as the trombone soloist. When Marcus is here in a couple of weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks, he'll be with David Potter on drums and a local favorite, Marty Jaffe, on bass. Marty's become a first-call bass player for musicians far and wide and about every stripe, and it'll be great to see him playing back here at the Colonial Theater on April 27th.
Great.
But the night before that,
What are you doing the night before?
we have another great piano player.
We do.
Who will be playing at the Common Room at Zion Lutheran Church on the First Street, just off the First Street Common in Pittsfield, and that's Brandon Goldberg. And the trio who are his trio on his new CD Live at Dizzy's are the same musicians who he had with him at Ventford Hall a couple of years ago. On the CD, it's Brandon Goldberg on piano, Ben Wolf on bass, and Aaron Kimmel on drums. And we're going to be hearing Henry Mancini number, right? Lujan?
Lujan, yeah.
The Slow Hot Wind, and then Compulsion by Miles Davis
Miles
is the
Davis.
Brandon Goldberg trio live at Dizzy's.
Cool. Here we go.
about that, huh?
Yeah.
Quite a set at Dizzy's, the Brandon Goldberg Trio with Ben Wolf on bass and Aaron Kimmel on drums. I need to correct myself for something I said a little earlier. So the bass player with Brandon Goldberg coming up in Pittsfield is Caleb Tabachman. And Marty Jaffe is the bass player with Marcus Roberts. David Potter is the drummer for Marcus Roberts. So, Phil, that's running. It's still running.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
They're clapping.
Okay.
They can clap.
He's thanking us for listening and for attending his set at Disney. Anyway, so just to set that record straight, and thank Ella Goldberg for setting up CDs so we could listen to the new set at Dizzy's before many people in the country. So
Right.
Here we go. What do we got next?
Well, we got a Miles Davis from 1956, Workin' with Miles Davis. And joining Miles on this, it's John Coltrane on tenor, Brett Garland on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drums.
He couldn't get anybody good for this evening. Wow, too bad.
And what was I going to play? In Your Own Sweet Way, Dave Brubeck composition. So here's Miles Davis.
Who's that piano player?
That's Marcus Roberts, who will be with us. No, it's not. Who is it?
It is. I'm sorry. I was thinking it's Duke. He's playing Duke. Yeah, it is Marcus. Yeah.
Oh, good. Phew.
I'll wake up in a minute.
No, that's all right. At any rate, you've been listening to Berkshire Jazz here on WTBR 89.7 in Pittsfield. And Ed Bride is with me, has been with me for pretty much the whole show. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank
You
you.
bet.
But you want to say a little something about the upcoming Jazz Festival.
Well, yeah, April 18th to the 28th in downtown Pittsfield. We start off on Thursday the 18th with an open jam session at Hot Plate. And then the Jazz Crawl on Friday the 19th, scheduled to be announced. Swing Dance on April 20th, Saturday out at Proprietor's Lodge with an hour of lesson, and then the dance floor opens. Jazz Prodigy concert on Tuesday this year, April 23rd.
Who are we having for Prodigy?
We have alto saxophone player and a piano player, Jasper Zimmerman and Zach Cunningham.
Wow.
And
we have two.
It's two people, first time playing together. They were both highly recommended by the people who run the Litchfield Jazz Camp. And we couldn't figure out which one to get, so we decided to bring them both. So they'll be making their performance debut together, although they ran into each other at the camp.
That's great.
Yeah, and then Friday and Saturday, the headline concerts. Brandon Goldberg on Friday, April 26th. Marcus Roberts on Saturday, April 27th. And jazz brunches on both Sundays. So the schedule will be posted online at berkshiresjazz.org, where you can also get links to tickets.
Gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I simply have to say, you're listening to WETF out in South Bend, Indiana.
Hi, folks out there.
Yeah.
Go Irish.
Eric in the evening comes on after following Berkshire Jazz. And Last Call with Brent Van Nulis. And here it's the Jazz Train coming in after Berkshire Jazz. So stay with us. We've got more jazz for you. And thanks for listening. Be well.